Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. Tonight we'll have all your international, national, and local news. I am Annabella Gizzi.
And I'm Leslie Krebs. We'll have all the most recent updates on the bombings in Lebanon, plus new details on Donald Trump's second assassination attempt.
Also, a new attraction in downtown. Stay tuned to hear what construction is starting at the prominent Pittsburgh location.
All this and more coming up on NewsNight.
Defense attorneys questioned whether Giselle Pellicot, a French woman, was completely unconscious during the alleged assaults planned by her former husband, Dominique Pelot, and committed by dozens of men over a 10-year period. NBC News reports that Giselle struck a restraint note during her testimony on Wednesday. Additionally, the report states that there is a physical evidence of Pellicot being assaulted on photo and video, and that there are at least 83 men involved in the case. Many of the 50 people who have been identified and put on trial for allegedly assaulting her are denying the allegations. People in support of Pellicot applaud her for her ability to speak out. Her former husband, Dominique Pellicot, admitted to his doing of drugging and sexually abusing her, said in his testimony on Tuesday, quote, "I am a rapist, like the others in this room," end quote. Pellicot has 3 children with Dominique who have been impacted heavily by this. Giselle stated that her world collapsed when the uncovered footage was discovered by the police, as there was over 20,000 images and videos.
On Monday, more than 490 people were killed in Lebanon from Israeli strikes. This comes after the explosion of thousands of pagers belonging to Hezbollah members, which killed 39 people and wounded at least 3,000 others. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied their involvement in these attacks. Experts are saying those targeted bombings appear to have been planned several months in advance. The Israeli military warned those living in southern and eastern Lebanon to evacuate the area in preparation for the airstrike, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying in a pre-recorded message, quote, "Take this warning seriously. Please get out of harm's way now. Once our operation is finished, you can come back safely to your homes," end quote. The strikes led by Israel not only killed nearly 500, but wounded 1,645 in just one day. Israeli military spokesperson Daniel Hagari said they will do, quote, "whatever is necessary," end quote, in order for Hezbollah to be pushed from Lebanon's border to Israel. That same spokesperson noted that Israel inflicted heavy damage to Hezbollah on Monday and was prepared and ready to launch a ground invasion into Lebanon. Later that night on Monday, another targeted airstrike was launched into Beirut, wounding 6, with Israel saying they were expanding the airstrikes to include areas along Lebanon's eastern border to Syria. For now, foreign diplomats and leaders are aiming their concerns towards reducing tensions between Lebanon and Israel and preventing any possible war between the two countries. A man was detained in Thailand. The charge is drug trafficking. Reporter Christiana Cates has more details on the story. Christiana.
A Singaporean man was detained in Bangkok, Thailand by Thai police for drug trafficking. The 31-year-old male suspect was not named by Singaporean authorities, but was taken into custody for drug trafficking charges on September 19th, just 2 days after being deported from Thailand. According to Thailand's Narcotics Control Board, the male suspect was transporting drug paraphernalia such as crystal meth, ketamine, and ecstasy to Singapore and Australia. In 2020 and 2022, the Central Narcotics Bureau of Singapore, or CNB, investigated the suspect's drug activities. This was all while an arrest warrant was already issued. The suspect has been out of Singapore since 2016 using a false passport and resided in Bang Kai-o, where Thai police raided his upscale apartment. According to Thai police, the suspect had multiple luxury items such as gold watches and gold pieces. The suspect was later arraigned in Singapore on September 20th for drug trafficking charges.
Thank you, Christiana. Health Canada just announced it will remove the drink additive BVO. Brominated vegetable oil, or BVO, is a drink additive used in citrus-flavored soft drinks and was removed from the list of permitted food additives on August 13th. Health Canada announced it will give a 1-year transition period as it did not cause an immediate health concern. BVO will still be in some products on shelves until August 13th, 2025. A dam collapse caused severe devastation in an African nation. Reporter Caitlin Zal has the details. Caitlin?
Thank you, Annabella. On September 19th, in Maiduguri, Nigeria, the lives of more than 1 million people were changed after the Alu Dam collapsed due to heavy rainfall early last week. The city of Maiduguri was hit with floods, causing the displacement of 300,000 people and the death of 37. Authorities have said it to be the worst flood in the last 30 years within Nigeria. Many families have been separated and are searched for missing family members and friends. Camps have been set up for the displaced, such as Gubu camp, but the conditions are harsh. Most people are scared to go back to their water-filled homes, but as the water recedes, the plan is to encourage the people to make the journey with an incentive by giving each adult a one-time cash transfer of 10,000 naira, equivalent to $6. Authorities hope that many will return home. Fatou Laminu is one of the many who doesn't seem to believe in this plan of the government, describing her current living conditions, stating, quote, "I have never experienced such a disaster in my life," end quote. Although she is grateful for the government help, she doesn't believe it is enough. On the other hand, the organization Save the Children believes that this plan is more sustainable in the long run.
A woman was brutally murdered in Fosso, Italy on September 16th. Her body was found in a ditch and stabbed 20 times. The woman, Giulia Cicchetti, was attacked by her ex-boyfriend, Filippo Poteretta, who was upset about her breaking up with him and coerced her to a goodbye shopping trip and dinner where he killed her thereafter. During his trial, the whole country of Italy was shocked at the femicide. 120 women in just 2023 have been murdered by partners or ex-partners in Italy. The Cicchetti family is heartbroken by their loss. However, they said that they hope Giulia's death can be the starting point to spread more awareness about femicide. Coming up, a lawsuit between two unsuspecting parties, a space program and a card game, and in more space-related news, after many years, NASA awards influential scientists. Find out who when we return.
It's a tough crowd.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are warning of a sharp increase in whooping cough infections. According to the reports, the current outbreak is most likely related to decreased vaccination rates, which have occurred because of many families choosing not to vaccinate their members during the pandemic. Health officials caution that whooping cough, also known as pertussis, can be particularly serious for infants and young children, but teens are also susceptible, especially if they have not had their annual booster vaccinations. Dr. Tina Tan, the president-elect of the Infectious Disease Society of America, comments, quote, "With the increase in vaccine hesitancy that has been going on since COVID-19 pandemic, we're seeing outbreaks occurring in kids who are not vaccinated," end quote. NBC News reports that the CDC announced on Thursday that there have been 14,569 confirmed cases of whooping cough in 2024. Comparing that to the total of 3,475 cases in the previous year, there has been a notable rise. Preliminarily, cases reported this year, according to a CDC representative, are at an all-time high since 2014. After an injury results in a concussion, and the NFL is making changes to its rules. Reporter Christiana Cates has the updates. Christiana?
Recent concerns have been made after Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa received a concussion while playing against the Buffalo Bills on September 12th. This led to Tagovailoa being placed on injured reserve. Many fans and commentators of the league are calling for Tagovailoa to retire, stating that it is not worth his life or health. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel stated in a media conference that, quote, "I know the feelings expressed to me are unsettling," end quote. With more conversations happening in recent years about player safety and the dangers of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, the NFL recently adjusted its rules to allow guardian caps to be worn during the regular season. The caps aim to prevent concussions and head injuries. All players must wear guardian caps during training camp except quarterbacks and specialists. Tagovailoa, who is a quarterback, would be exempt from this rule and has yet to make any comments about his retirement this season.
Ryan Routh, the suspect involved in the attempted shooting of former President Donald Trump, is now facing charges in court for attempted assassination. If found guilty, Routh could face a maximum sentence of life in prison. 2 notes written by Routh suggesting a planned attack have also been discovered, one at the scene of the attempted shooting. It all started when on September 15th, Routh was found positioned outside the golf course fence near the 6th hole. A Secret Service agent discovered him after seeing his face in the barrel of his gun hiding inside a bush. The first note was found just a few feet from the abandoned rifle addressed to the New York Times. Another note was also found inside a friend's house written months earlier. The note stated, quote, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I can muster. It is up to you to finish the job, and I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job," end quote. Currently, Routh has been charged with the unlawful possession of a firearm as a felon and the possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Trump and his team released a statement on Monday accusing the FBI and Department of Justice of, quote, "mishandling and downplaying the second assassination attempt on my life since July," end quote, as well as calling the charges, quote, "a slap on the wrist," and stating, quote, "let Florida handle the case," end quote. Currently, Routh is still in jail and has not been granted bond due to being considered a flight risk. Routh and his lawyers are arguing that he is not a flight risk. Other incriminating evidence has been found suggesting otherwise in his car, such as 12 pairs of gloves, his passport, 6 phones, and Google searches such as, quote, "how to travel from Palm Beach County to Mexico," end quote. The trial is still ongoing and Routh is still awaiting sentencing. A U.S. bank makes proactive efforts to avoid future economic troubles. Reporter Kaylin Zaw has the story. Kaylin.
Thank you, Leslie. On September 19th, the U.S. Central Bank lowered its interest rate. This led to the biggest interest rate cut in more than 4 years. The main reason for the large cut is set to protect the labor market and to ensure that the U.S. economy won't be hurt. For the last year, the job market has been too hot. There has been a climb in the unemployment rate, raising from 4.2% to 3.7%. Therefore, to prevent further slowing down to the market, the cut was made. Many didn't predict for such a high cut, and the reactions from the world differed. Isaac Stell from Wealth Club said, quote, "Many may be left wondering what the Fed sees on the horizon to prompt such a bold move," end quote. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell continued to hold his view that no dramatic changes will happen. He said, quote, "I don't see anything in the economy right now that suggests that the likelihood of a downturn is elevated," end quote. Due to the large cut, mortgage rates have dropped, reaching the lowest rates ever since February 2023.
Thank you, Kaylin. California Attorney General filed a lawsuit against big recycling company ExxonMobil. The lawsuit is based on the company's deception towards consumers by placing over 95% of the recycled plastic in a landfill and melting it into its basic chemical form. ExxonMobil responded to the lawsuit by saying they were using an advanced recycling technique by melting the plastics. However, California officials say that the method has been proven to also worsen pollution. Judith Ennick, president of Beyond Plastics, who seeks to end plastic pollution, quotes, "This is a big one. I hope it is going to open the floodgates." She goes on to say, quote, "This is first to go upstream and make an effort to hold the production companies accountable," end quote. Trespassing results in a civil lawsuit between a card game and a space program. Plus, with the presidential election just around the corner, election offices are beginning to receive rather suspicious mail. First-time reporter Ruthie Light has the need-to-know details for both stories. Ruthie?
Thank you, Annabella. On Thursday, September 19th, 2024, the creator of the popular adult card game Cards Against Humanity filed a $15 million civil lawsuit against Elon Musk's SpaceX over alleged trespassing on company land in Cameron County, Texas. In 2017, Chicago-based Cards Against Humanity LLC bought a lot of land in the U.S.-Mexico border to interfere with former President Donald Trump's border wall. Located just 3 miles away from SpaceX's Starbase launch facility, the company began to store construction site equipment as well as dumping enormous pounds of gravel and bringing in generators to run equipment and lights. According to the lawsuit, SpaceX has never asked for permission to use the property, much less for the egregious appropriation of the property for its own profit-making purposes. Since being initially purchased, Cards Against Humanity says the land has been maintained in its natural state, even including a no trespassing sign to warn people that they were about to enter private property. In other news, suspicious packages were sent to election offices in more than 20 states last week, leading to an FBI investigation. As election officials across the country prepare to send the first ballots to military and overseas voters, and as states are weeks away from the start of mail-in voting and in-person early voting, threatening envelopes began making their arrival to various election officials. Following a similar event that occurred last November, where an envelope of fentanyl was sent to an election office in Fulton County, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger says that his office has been notified that there is a suspicious package on its way by the U.S. Postal Service and that they were going to try to intercept its delivery. According to the executive director of the North Carolina State Board of Elections, Karen Brinston Bell, staff are wearing gloves and filing through mail, as well as evacuating parts of the office when they find a suspicious item that may be contaminated. According to the FBI quote, "Some of the letters contain an unknown substance, and we are working closely with our law enforcement partners to respond to each incident and safely collect the letters," end quote. At this time, federal investigators are trying to determine how many letters were sent, who is behind mailing them, and what is the motive behind the letters.
NASA's group of hidden figures were awarded Congressional Gold Medals on Wednesday. This group of Black female scientists were crucial to the development of U.S. space exploration. While the award comes decades after their pioneering work, it still stands to honor the minorities who stood behind the scenes. The work of these 4 women included calculations that allowed the United States to beat the Soviet Union to a moon landing almost 60 years ago. Engineers, human computers, and scientists, these women paved the way for astronauts and scientific advancement way beyond their time. Point Park University in downtown Pittsburgh experienced tensions at a presidential inauguration. Our reporters have the rundown of what happened. Also, a proposed change to Pittsburgh bus lines. Stay tuned to hear how this change might affect your daily commute. We'll be right back.
On Friday, September 20th, 2 major events took place on Point Park University's campus in downtown Pittsburgh: the inauguration of the 9th president, Chris Brusalis, and the faculty contract protest. I went to Village Park to get the close details and participant views during the protest. Here's the story. Point Park University teachers took part in a demonstration supporting fair pay and better work environments on this past Friday, September 20th. The university's faculty union organized the gathering, which brought together faculty, students, and local community supporters, all advocating for change. This was not occurring on any ordinary day. The 9th president of Point Park was being inaugurated. We spoke to sophomore acting major Zach Foz, who marched alongside the teachers.
There's a 4% increase on tuition right now in the next year. So there's that. And on top of it, they've been paying past presidents that don't even work here anymore $1.8 million. So that's not fair to the students and that's not fair to the teachers at all.
President Chris Brusalis led his administration down Wood Street while his teachers protested him. When walking into the University Center, they were swarmed with protesters and media. Lastly, we hear from a professor in the English department, Karen Dwyer.
Our goal right now is to make visible that is which has been invisible. A lot of what happens at a table, and it happens behind closed doors, so to speak. And they attempted to fire 4 of our full-time faculty members on Friday in what's called program elimination. And this is our way of saying no.
And this has been Annabella Gizzi reporting from Village Park.
The city of Pittsburgh will be gaining a new attraction downtown in the near future. For $30, visitors can take a tour of the new year-round attraction called the Top of the Triangle. The tour will take place on the 47th floor of the Steel Tower, where visitors can see views of the city like never before. CEO and founder Jeremy Goldman is hoping to reconstruct the 47th floor to include amazing views, as well as a souvenir shop and many more details. The attraction will include a 1-acre observation deck standing 841 feet in the air with 360-degree views. But the tour doesn't end just there. Planners are hoping to add on 3 different additional experiences you can add on to your package. The first, called Tilt 412, Goldman explains as being, quote, windows 1, 2, and 3 on this side, and the farthest windows on this side are going to be an attraction where you stand in the window and then the whole window tilts out over the street below, end quote. The second edition, called View 814, will include a separate section with glass flooring and walls, where visitors can stand and look straight down into the city. The third attraction will allow visitors to walk on the edge of the building, onto an I-beam, back onto the edge of the building, and then walk safely back onto the main floor. Goldman partnered with Honeycomb, a Pittsburgh-based business, to fund the project, calling it, quote, no coincidence, end quote. While funding into construction are ongoing, Goldman hopes to open Top of the Triangle sometime in 2026. Additional attractions such as Tilt 412 and View 814 won't be available until 2028, though.
A Pittsburgh Public Works employee is on unpaid leave after spraying a man in the eyes with wasp spray in central Oakland, according to the police. Paul Grugeras, 65, was charged with simple assault among other charges after he swerved a backhoe he was driving to confront another driver, Donald Jones, who had honked at him. Grugeras broke Jones' passenger side mirror off his vehicle and then sprayed him in the eyes with the wasp spray after he got out of his car to confront him. Public work officials say Grugeras would not be returning to any position where he would need to deal with the public. Point Park University is hosting a journalism appreciation event, NewsPalooza. NewsNight reporter Robert Fortunaro has the details on what special panels are planned to take place during the event. Take it away, Robert.
Excitement is building here at Point Park University's Pittsburgh Playhouse as it gears up for a truly unique event, NewsPalooza.
From September 26th to the 28th, this venue will transform into a hub for storytelling, journalism, and community engagement, all a part of an event that celebrates the vital role of local news. Organized by the Center for Media Innovation, NewsPalooza promises a jam-packed schedule of keynote speakers, interactive sessions, and a one-of-a-kind experience.
Yeah, we're excited about NewsPalooza. We think that it's it's news, of course, but it's also Palooza, super fun event, and so that's the idea, to reintroduce the public to journalism and to local journalists, because people often think about the media as something far away and foreign, and really it's the people in our community, and so we're just doing a celebration of local journalism here at Point Park University.
NewsPalooza will feature prominent speakers like Robert Costa, CBS News Chief Presidential Reporter, and Robbie Robinson, whose investigative work inspired the Oscar-winning film Spotlight. Discussions will range from presidential politics to the future of sports in Pittsburgh, and a special focus will be placed on the state of local news in communities like ours. This event isn't just for journalists. Anyone interested in the power of storytelling can join in, with hands-on workshops, media-making activities, and even a live Shark Tank-style pitching contest where audience members choose the next big story for local coverage.
Yeah, so the Pittsburgh pitch is going to be a lot of fun. We have 10 journalists coming in. Each of them is going to pitch a story idea. So we had 30 applications. We narrowed it down to 10. And then the audience is going to listen to the pitches. Each pitcher has something like 90 seconds to make their pitch. And then at the end, the audience votes, and we're giving $1,000 to the professional winner and $1,000 to the student or citizen journalist. And then we've got some second place prizes. But the cool thing is that the audience is actually involved in the process. We didn't want to do something where people were just sitting and listening to somebody talk, but they actually get to be part of choosing the news.
With so much to offer, NewsPalooza is set to be an unforgettable event that celebrates the importance of storytelling in a world where local news is more crucial than ever. Whether you're a journalist, student, or simply a community member with a passion for Pittsburgh stories, this event is for you.
Get your tickets now at nextgenerationnewsroom.org. Reporting live from the Point Park University Pittsburgh Playhouse for UView Television, I'm Robert Fornatero.
Thanks, Robert. If you are interested or would like to learn more about the events taking place during NewsPalooza, you can find more information on the websites playhouse.pointpark.edu and nextgenerationnewsroom.org.
Pittsburgh Regional Transport introduced a first draft of a bus route redesign that will reduce the overall number of routes, but increase the neighborhoods encompassed in its bus routes. The plan will cut the total number of serviced routes from 95 to 77 and change roughly 60% of route service frequency and coverage. Some routes will no longer run through downtown, which PRT says it hopes will reduce riding time traveling between surrounding neighborhoods. PRT still claims that 99.4% of riders will still have accessible bus routes within a quarter mile of their homes. After the break, love and luck making Illinois residents a big lottery winner. Plus, we'll have your local Pittsburgh weather update. Stay tuned.
An Illinois man honored his late wife by playing a certain set of lottery numbers and has just become $1 million richer. The man, who has chosen to remain anonymous, originally bought the ticket from an ABP gas station in Wadsworth, Illinois. The ticket was bought for the May 20th Lotto Million 1 drawing, with the ticket's cost being split between him and his adult children, who also received some money. In a statement to lottery officials from his daughter, she said, quote, "Our family likes to play the same numbers in various lottery games from time to time, and the numbers are very near and dear to our hearts. Since our mom passed away, we include numbers related to her that hold significant meaning for all of us, end quote. The winning numbers for the lottery winner, 2, 8, 10, 18, 22, 28. Now, for the BP gas station that sold the winning ticket, they will receive a $10,000 bonus. Fall is officially here, and our weather reporter, Loger Abdus, is here to update you on what to expect this next week in your Pittsburgh forecast. Loger?
Although fall has officially started this week, don't pull your sweaters and scarves out yet, as we are still expecting to see very warm temperatures. Starting tomorrow morning, we will see cloudy skies and cool temperatures reaching 65 degrees. However, don't dress too warm, because by the afternoon, the temperatures are going to rise to the high 70s. There will also be a high humidity with an 80% chance of precipitation throughout the day. Overnight, the temperatures are expected to drop down to the mid-60s with dense cloud coverage but no anticipated rain. Now, let's take a look at the rest.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of NewsNight. If you want to see more, check out our social media pages on both Facebook and Instagram at UView Television.
You can also check out more episodes on our YouTube channel or our website, uview.pointpark.edu. I'm Leslie Krebs.
And I'm Annabella Gizzi. From everyone here at NewsNight, thank you for watching and have a great evening.